Yo, what up? Welcome to another episode of the Oakland Warriors podcast. This is Patrick, flying solo. Just watched the first game in a back-to-back series against the San Antonio Spurs, and the Warriors lost this one. Another tough loss at the end of the game, a game that was well within the Warriors' reach and just kind of slipped away. Like, it didn't slip away suddenly. It just trickled away slowly but surely. Kind of how that Dallas game trickled away slowly but surely. And that, my friends, is what the Warriors are. A middling, mediocre team. A team that can rise to the occasion and bring some joy and some brilliance and show out. I mean, mostly Steph. On other nights, they can look completely outclassed. And then there's nights like tonight where they just make enough mistakes and don't do enough to win. That's it. You get the good, you get the bad, and then you get the mediocre, the average. And that's where they are right now. I think they can get better than that. We've seen it. It's just a question of, will there be that consistency? I mean, it's a tired question all season long. When will they get consistent? It's a weird season, but will they ever get there? You know, I mean, other teams are suffering through this malaise, but do the Warriors have the players who can really, really produce the way they need to, the way the team needs them to, night in and night out? The Warriors had a chance to win at the end, or well, actually to tie, but Draymond chucked up a three-pointer. I'm recording this before all of the press interviews, so I don't know what people are going to say about it or what his reason is. Was it because he thought he was going to get fouled and he wanted 3 free throws? Was it because he didn't realize how much time was on the clock? I doubt that. He's too smart for that. But I don't know about you, but that game was like kind of boring. I mean, Steph had a good game. He had some great typical Steph shots and moves and feats of amazement. And I don't think it's because I'm taking those for granted. I definitely don't. But, I mean, that's the Spurs. They basically lulled the Warriors and out-executed them to win this game. Like, that's basically it. The Warriors had 20 turnovers to the Spurs 10. Draymond Green himself had 5. Draymond's had some really good games lately, but he hasn't been scoring. It looked like he was trying to force the issue a little bit, which is good, be aggressive. But I don't know if he's forgotten how to put the ball in the basket because he doesn't do it as often. They could have used a few points from him, and maybe he's just rusty in that respect, and maybe the 2 to 3 weeks he said it would take for him to be fully back in playing shape, in peak condition, maybe that's coming. So fingers crossed. I don't know. The Warriors actually had a relatively decent sized margin of error tonight, but they committed so many turnovers that they basically hopscotched all the way over that margin of error and lost the game. Andrew Wiggins, his shot seems to have left him a little bit. I don't know what it is, but apparently he and Kelly Oubre cannot. The basketball gods will not let them have good shooting nights on the same damn night. Oubre shot it pretty well. 9 for 16, 4 for 8 from three-point land and 24 points. Andrew Wiggins, 4 for 12, 0 for 2 from 3. And 11 points. Again, still given the consistency on the defensive end. But, hopefully he'll snap out of the shooting slump that he's in a little bit, or else we're going to start hearing a lot from Minnesota Timberwolves fans. And, man, those people are bitter. Kind of remind me of Warriors fans from the 90s, if you know what I'm saying. And Wiggins, yeah, man, like, it's tough because he's like their second most consistent scorer. And when he's off, it just puts more pressure on Steph. Anyway, it's a quick turnaround. They don't even get a day off between games. It's just right back playing the Spurs again. So not much time to sit and wallow in the loss tonight. Hopefully they come up with something. This is why winning that first game against Dallas was great. And this is also why winning the second game against Dallas would have been great. Hopefully they don't lose the next game and they go back home on a 1-3 road trip. That'd be rough. I mean, what are we learning from this team, man? Steph is amazing. Steph is in peak form. He's peak Steph. He is legit an MVP candidate. I mean, we've known that for a while. We've seen it ever since he kind of got into a rhythm, dropped 62, all that jazz. The national media is starting to pick up on it too. So that's a good thing. I mean, the Warriors record, it is what it is right now. There's a lot of quote unquote MVP candidates who are hovering around 500 with their teams as well. The only ones not are LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Lakers, Clippers. Hopefully the Warriors can start shaking out some wins, man, because I feel like they're leaving money on the table in that respect. Some of these games are really gettable. And these are the games that we are used to winning, the ones where like, oh, it's close. We're going to lock down on D and Steph is going to do something magical. This is when the death lineup, remember them? They would come in and shut it all down. The Hamptons 5. Yeah, there ain't no end of game magic from anyone but Steph right now. So it's just Steph and Stephenaires, if you want to call it that. We shall see. It's just one game, but now the Warriors are back to 500. They've been doing that dance where they get like 2 games above 500 and then lose one and then win one and then lose one. And now they've lost 2 in a row. So they're back at exactly 500. So that's another episode of the Oakland Warriors podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Patrick Epino, Epino, or at Oakland Warriors. Check us out at oaklandwarriors.com, and be sure to share this podcast with your Warrior fan friends. That's it. Music in this episode provided by Paper Sun. Special thanks to Paul Amardo for production support. See you next time, and go Dubs.